This is Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're at the National Association of Counties Convention in Long Beach, and we are joined today by Bob Williams. He is the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Tehama County. Tell us about Tehama.
Tehama County is my home. I'm fifth generation native there.
Come on.
No,
Can I talk about that? How did your family get to Tehama 5 generations ago?
My great-grand aunt had bought a piece of property out there, and she sent for her brothers to come run it for her.
From
Missouri.
Got it.
And they came in 1851 and settled in western Tehama County.
Gold?
They overshot the gold rush.
They overshot it.
Yeah, so they became ranchers, farmers.
Right.
My great-great-granddad was actually a blacksmith, and developed into raising turkeys and sheep, and then gravitated more to sheep than turkeys,
right.
and then into cattle and farming. And
so I presume that many of your neighbors, they live as a result of agriculture. I mean, that is their bread and butter.
Agriculture is the number one industry in Tehama County.
So give us a sense of the importance of ag to Tehama. What is the main crop or the main livestock?
Main crops is a combination. It's moving more towards the tree crops.
Okay.
English walnuts, almonds. There's prunes up there, French plums, as my prune grower friends like to call them
exactly,
now.
Exactly.
But we raised sheep and cattle. There's not very many sheep left in Tehama County.
Why?
The industry, the market kind of fell out of it in the 80s, in California, when we were in the business in the 60s and the 70s, there was 3 packing houses in California, and mainly in the Dixon area, that handled fat lambs. And when it got down to where there was only one, they controlled the market, and the bottom fell out. Yeah. And so
I want to talk about some of those crops, almonds, for example, or almonds, as we say in the city.
Yeah, but you got to knock the L out of them to get them off the tree.
That's exactly right. Now, I remember in the heat of the drought, if I can say, there was this meme going around about almonds and how much water almonds use, and you need a gallon for an almond, etc. I'm going to put that aside, but it does beg the question, how have you done during the drought? Let's put this year aside for a second. We'll talk about this year in a second, but over the last 4 years, how have your communities done?
There's been a lot of shifting to groundwater. Tehama County has, part of the county is reliant on the Tehama-Colusa Canal.
Right.
And our surface water supplies for the last 2 years at least have been set at zero. So Zero, yeah, so no surface water availability. So folks that had permanent crops, our well drillers have been very busy drilling ag wells up there. And then what we're seeing in the county is a lot of people that have run into problems south of the Delta with being able to get water and not having the groundwater availability that we have up there.
So what do you do? I mean, what do these people do for water?
Well, these guys have been, I don't know whether they're selling their properties south of the Delta, but they're buying properties up in our area because we have a pretty good groundwater supply. And so they've been drilling big wells, but the effect of that is we've had some shallower wells where people have gone, started having problems with their shallower wells because of these other wells.
Is the ground collapsing?
We don't see any subsidence. We're in the process of doing another subsidence study, but the last subsidence study we did didn't show any specific decline.
I have heard about towns in Northern California where literally water needs to be brought in.
Yeah.
Any of those towns in Tehama County?
I have one in my district.
Explain.
The little town of Pascana is one of my understanding. I think there's 2 in the state of California, community service districts, water districts that provide water for houses that rely on surface water. And the Pascana Community Service District has pipes underneath a creek bed that they pump water into their system, filter it, and provide it to their 65 customers in the Pascana Community Service.
But those are 65 homes
65
with
homes.
150 people living in them, let's say.
Exactly. Well, when the creek goes dry, their system doesn't work anymore. So we work through Office of Emergency Service and other agencies, other state agencies, and the city of Corning and the city of Red Bluff to allow for transport of water, bring water trucks in other words, filling up, hauling 20,000 gallons a day out there to put into their system so they can refilter it, run it back through their system, and supply water for their customers.
I mean, this is apocalyptic. I mean,
It is. It is.
We need water.
Yeah.
I mean, and where is Corning getting that water? Because I assume that you face your own water crises.
Corning relies on groundwater.
Okay.
But the reason that Pasquena is reliant on surface water is because where the town of Pasquena is, there is no groundwater.
Why?
Other
Just
than
the way the basin.
It's on the other side of a ancient fault line. This is my assumption, but when you try to drill a well out there, oftentimes you hit brackish water, salt water, and if you can find groundwater, what you're finding is groundwater coming through fractured rock out of the mountains, but that's few and far between.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this year now.
Okay.
Because this year, folks in Southern California were very excited about getting rain. It didn't happen. It went to Northern California. Arguably, that's better for the state because of the Sierras and the snowpack. How was the rainfall in Tehama County?
Normal to slightly above normal. So
better than nothing.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
Right.
And our surface water users are at 100% right now.
Do you still have to ship water out to Pasquena?
Yeah, the city of Corning just approved the shipment. The creek has still got water in it. Their system is still functional right now, whereas last year it was end of May, 1st of June that we started hauling water out to them. Well, we haven't started hauling water yet, but we could potentially.
I want to talk about our trees.
Okay.
Because I think about Northern California, true Northern California, not San Francisco, Northern California, and it is just majestic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I have learned, sir, that in portions of Northern California, the tree die-off is very dramatic, be it from the drought, be it from the bark beetle, be it from the combination of both. What are we seeing in Tehama County? Are we seeing a die-off?
We're starting to see the early stages of bark beetle infestation.
You are?
Yeah. What I saw, we had a report last Tuesday from CAL FIRE on Tehama County specific, and they showed some photographs of Calaveras, Amador, Tuolumne counties,
right,
where their mountainsides are brown now on the ponderosa pine. But what I saw on photos 3 years ago in those counties was kind of a patchwork spots of brown, dead and dying trees. Now that whole area, where you used to see patchwork, now that whole area is brown. Well, now in Tehama County, we're starting to see the patchwork.
So you're just a couple years out from potentially what we're seeing
from a potential
in Amador.
Yeah.
What about fire danger as a result?
Well, it's dramatically increased. But we are trying to work with CAL FIRE. We hope to become a pilot project to start doing some proactive management of the forest. CAL FIRE,
right? What does that mean? Because for some, when you hear management, you start thinking clear cutting, which makes some people nervous, which makes other people happy, and so.
It's not clear cutting, but it's going in and taking out the dead and dying trees, taking out the underbrush, and reducing the tree population per acre on the area. But one of the big things that we're faced with, is a lot of the monies that have gone to forest management from the state. The equipment that they've used to do that has been shipped down to the Amador, Tuolumne, the southern Sierras.
We're going to come to Redding. We want to see you there, okay?
All right.
His name is Bob Williams. He is the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Tehama County. I'm Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.